The country of India may have a population of almost 1.5 billion people, but only a select few of those have become WWE superstars. WWE have strengthened their ties to the country in recent years by touring it more regularly and ramping up recruitment as they look for the next big Indian star. There are currently several performers either directly from India or of Indian ancestry on the WWE roster, while in the past we've seen Indian stars make it all the way to the summit by winning world titles and being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. But which ones rank highest? I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 best Indian WWE superstars ever. Join us! Number 10, Kavita Devi. Kavita Devi is the first female wrestler of Indian nationality to wrestle for WWE. Quite an achievement, but then Kavita was used to excelling in sports, having represented her country in the 2016 South Asian Games, where she won gold in women's weightlifting. That was the same year she decided to get into the wrestling business by the way of the Great Khali's Continental Wrestling Entertainment promotion. A year and a half later, Kavita Devi was announced as one of the entrants in the first ever Mae Young Classic tournament. Though she was eliminated by Dakota Kai in the first round, Devi signed a contract and began training at the WWE Performance Center. Kavita then made an appearance at WrestleMania 34 as an entrant in the inaugural WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, where she put on a good showing prior to being eliminated by Sarah Logan. She continued performing for NXT and entered the second Mae Young Classic, where she was eliminated by a returning Caitlyn. Kavita may not have received too many opportunities to showcase her abilities, but when she did, she made them count until she was released in May of 2021. Number 9, Sangha. Saurav Gurjar is a man with real combat sports credentials, having won a gold medal in national kickboxing. Also a popular actor, Gurjar played other sports such as basketball, boxing, and amateur wrestling. Trying his hand at sports entertainment, he was inspired to pursue a career in pro wrestling after watching the Great Khali's success. He first wrestled for TNA's Indian offshoot, Ring Car King, where he rubbed shoulders with Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, Abyss, and Nick Aldis as a member of Double J's RDX stable. Signed by WWE in 2018, he made his televised debut in a battle royal at Worlds Collide 2019. After honing his skills at the PC and on live events, Gurjar, as Saurav, formed Indus with Rinku on NXT TV. Renamed Sangha, he re-emerged after a period of inactivity as the bodyguard of Grayson Waller. After being fired from the role and losing a match to Waller, Sangha regrouped and reformed Indus with Rinku, repackaged Veer Mahan following a short spell on the main roster. Having added Jinder Mahal to their ranks, Indus could be a real force to be reckoned with in the future. Number 8, Akam. Though born in Canada, former Authors of Pain member Akam is of Indian heritage. Born Sonny Dinsa, he was a standout amateur wrestler and won the Canadian National Freestyle Wrestling Championship in 2011, 2012, and 2013 in the heavyweight category. He was also considered for the 2012 Olympics and could have potentially gone to the 2016 Games had he not opted to sign with WWE in 2014 instead, after being scouted by the legendary Gerald Briscoe. Alongside Akam was one of the most dominant forces in NXT, and the AOP won the NXT Tag Team titles, as well as the 2016 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. A modern twist on the Smash Mouth powerhouse teams of the past, the Authors of Pain rapidly improved on the black and gold brand and were rewarded with a call-up to WWE's main roster on the post-WrestleMania 34 episode of Monday Night Raw. They won the WWE Raw Tag Team titles once, though their tenure was interrupted by injuries and inconsistent creative. AOP were released in September of 2020, but there's every chance Akam, along with Razor, could be brought back in the future. Number 7, Veer Mahan. Rinku Singh was famous before he even made it to WWE. The winner of 2008 reality show The $1 Million Arm, Singh was signed by the Pittsburgh Pirates and became the first Indian to play professional baseball. Despite never having heard of baseball, Singh beat 37,000 other participants to bag the $100,000 prize. His story was duly turned into a major Hollywood film. After his baseball career ended, Rinku signed with WWE and trained for a couple of years before making his on-screen debut alongside Saurav Gurjar. With the updated moniker of Veer, he and new partner Shanky showed up on Raw as backup for Jinder Mahal. Shanky and Mahal were then drafted to SmackDown, leaving Veer to fend for himself on the flagship show. Newly solo, his name was tweaked to Veer Mahan, and months of vignettes hyped up his arrival. Mahaan finally came, as promised, and received a strong push with victories over Rey and Dominic Mysterio. He has since returned to NXT, where he has reformed Indus Sher with Sangha and Mahal. With so much Raw potential, it will be interesting to see where Veer's career takes him in years to come. Number 6. Tiger Ali Singh. Gurjit Singh Hans, best known as former WWE star Tiger Ali Singh, was the son of Tiger Jeet Singh, born and raised in Punjab, who never worked for WWE himself, but was a legendary heel who wrestled primarily in Japan. Tiger Ali Singh signed with WWE in January of 1997 and won the Kuwait Cup tournaments that April, defeating Owen Hart in the finals. He made his pay-per-view debut later in the year at One Night Only, where he beat Al Leaf Cassidy Snow before disappearing from TV to undergo more training. Tiger returned in the summer of 1998 and scored another big pay-per-view victory over Edge at Capital Carnage in December. It was around this time that he changed his gimmick to that of an arrogant heir to a vast fortune, bringing out a manservant called Babu and paying members of the audience to perform humiliating tasks. Tiger Ali Singh also has the distinction of being involved in Kurt Angle's television debut, where he was suplexed by the Olympic hero on Sunday Night Heat. Singh transitioned from wrestler to manager in 2000 when he took charge of the Lowdown tag team. Concussion issues ended Singh's WWE career, though he was able to make a comeback and wrestle in Canada and Japan years later. Number 5. The Singh Brothers. Burnaby-born Indo-Canadians Harvinder and Gurvinder Sira were already young veterans by the time they made it to WWE. Having received training from Ohio Valley Wrestling, Harley Race's Academy, and in the Hart Family Dungeon, the brothers wrestled as the Bollywood Boys on the Indies, as well as for Rakar King and Jeff Jarrett's later promotion, Global Force. Recruited for the Cruiserweight Classic, both were eliminated in the first round, but stuck around in NXT, where they took part in the 2016 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. After a few months down in Florida, Gurv and Harv debuted on the main roster as Samir and Sunil Singh, helping Jinder Mahal in his quest to win the WWE title from Randy Orton. Over the course of Mahal's reign, the Singh brothers were there to run interference and take a beating whenever necessary, and became a key part of Jinder's act. Once that run was over, Samir and Sunil were drafted to Raw and primarily wrestled on Main Event and 205 Live. They were released in June of 2021, but would certainly be an asset were they to one day return. Number 4. Mustafa Ali. While many fans might know about Mustafa Ali's Pakistani origins, fewer may realize that he is also actually half Indian. Growing up in Chicago, Adil Alam was raised by his Pakistani father and his mother, who was from New Delhi. The reason that WWE didn't push his Indian roots during his debut in the Cruiserweight Classic is because, according to the man himself, they already had the Bollywood Boys representing the country. Alam worked on the independent scene for the first 13 years of his career, while simultaneously working as a police officer to help support his family while he chased his dream. A late substitute in the Cruiserweight Classic, Mustafa Ali became a regular soon after and was one of the cornerstones of the Cruiserweight division and the 205 Live brand for the first couple of years of his WWE career. His performances there got him a move to SmackDown, where he had matches and programs with major stars like Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton as part of a promising push. Retribution was a misstep for the gifted high flyer, and he's previously expressed his desire to be released after growing disgruntled with his role, but things seem to be on the up once again for the so-called disruptor. Number 3. Gama Singh. Born in Punjab and emigrating to British Columbia, Gadawar Singh Sahota excelled at amateur wrestling in high school and turned to professional wrestling in his late teens. After training with Carlos Colon and Stu Hart, he became a mainstay for Stu's Stampede Wrestling promotion, where he would adopt the name The Great Gama Singh after Indian icon The Great Gama. A hated heel in Stampede, as well as in Japan, Puerto Rico, and other territories, Singh was called by Vince McMahon in the mid-80s to work in the United States, as well as on various international tours. Most of Singh's matches took place on non-televised house shows, but he got to trade holds with the likes of Bret Hart, Jimmy Snuka, and Brutus Beefcake, even if the cameras weren't rolling. On television, Singh picked up a couple of victories over Johnny Rodz and was interviewed by Vince McMahon on an episode of Tuesday Night Titans. A huge star in his homeland, he perhaps didn't get the chance to demonstrate the full range of his skills in WWE rings, though he did blaze a trail for those who came after him, including a rather famous family member. Number 2, Jinder Mahal. The nephew of Gama Singh, Yuvraj Singh Desi, was born in Canada but is of Indian Punjabi Sikh descent. He began training in the early 2000s and wrestled on the Canadian independent circuit until 2010, when he signed a WWE developmental contract. Now going by Jinder Mahal, he spent a year in Florida Championship Wrestling before being promoted to the main roster. Initially feuding with the Great Khali, Mahal got a few impressive victories as part of his early push, but was phased out and sent to the rebranded NXT, where he came up just short in the finals of a tournament to crown the first NXT champion. His tenure as a member of 3MB was a lot of fun, but Mahal got lost in the shuffle and was released. Rebuilding his reputation and beefing up his body while back working the indies, Jinder was rehired, worked his way up the card, and eventually beat Randy Orton to win the WWE title. Since losing the gold to AJ Styles, it's been somewhat up and down for the modern-day Maharaja, but the 36-year-old former United States and WWE champion has become an established and reliable performer. Number 1, the Great Khali. A national hero in his homeland, Dalip Singh, aka the Great Khali, was the first ever Indian-born WWE World Heavyweight Champion, as well as the second Indian-born superstar to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. At a shade over 7 feet tall, Singh was always going to be of interest to major American promotions and was actually signed by WCW, though he didn't make an appearance for them before the company went under. He instead made his name in Japan prior to getting signed by WWE in 2006. Presented as an unstoppable force from the off, the Great Khali shocked the world when he completely dismantled The Undertaker in his pay-per-view debut, pinning the dead man with 1 foot on his chest. A year later, Khali bagged the World Heavyweight title and cemented his status as a true main eventer thanks to major feuds and matches with the likes of Batista, John Cena, and Triple H. His role diminished in later years as he transitioned into the more comedic Punjabi playboy character, but Khali's larger-than-life legacy in sports entertainment was already assured. Khali currently trains the next generation of Indian stars at his CWE school.